The war between humans and the Kurellan Empire was fierce and had lasted for many years. The Kurellans, an alien race that looked like giant insects, wanted to destroy Earth and rule the galaxy, but humans refused to give up. In the dark and dangerous skies above the jungle planet Kavros 5, the last human fleet stood ready for a final battle. The space around the planet was filled with glowing lasers and explosions. Huge ships fired powerful weapons at each other, and many ships were torn apart in the fight. The battle was loud and chaotic. Captain Rhett Marlowe was in charge of the starship called Valor. During a fight on the ship, enemy soldiers managed to release a strange poison. This poison was no ordinary toxin. It was made by the Kurellans from the bodies of a special alien species, and it was deadly to humans. Rhett was hit by this poison during the fight, but managed to fight back. Even though he was very sick and in pain, he killed 3 enemy soldiers before sealing the broken part of his ship. But the poison inside him was spreading fast. His body felt like it was burning from the inside. The ship's doctor told him there was no cure for this poison in any human medicine. The poison was designed to kill slowly, and it was working. Rhett's condition got worse. His hands shook, and dark veins showed on his skin. He started to lose hope. Then, something unexpected happened. A strange alien woman appeared on the ship. She was tall, with blue skin that glowed faintly. Her eyes shone white like stars. She wore a light, flowing robe that looked like it was made from living silk. The people on the ship were scared and raised their weapons, ready to fight. But the alien woman spoke softly and said she was not an enemy. Her name was Zavira, and she belonged to a peaceful alien group called the Valari. She explained that she had escaped from the Kurellans and that her people's bodies could create a cure for the poison. Zavira said that to save Rhett, she would have to use her body's cure by bonding with him in a deep and permanent way. This meant their bodies and lives would be connected forever. Rhett was weak but determined. He agreed immediately because he wanted to live and protect humanity. He knew that accepting this alien bond might change him forever, but he was willing to take the risk. As Zavira stepped closer, the ship shook violently from another enemy attack. Despite the danger around them, she reached out and began the process of bonding with Rhett. The bond started when she placed her glowing hand on his chest and breathed gently on his lips. Rhett felt strange sensations. His blood felt both hot and cold at the same time. His heart beat faster, and his body tensed as light flowed between them. Zavira whispered words in her ancient language, and a bright glow surrounded them both. Rhett screamed from the strange new feeling, but he did not pull away. In that moment, everything changed. The poison inside Rhett began to fade, and he felt strength returning to his body. The alien cure was working. However, the battle was far from over. The alarm sounded loudly, warning that a huge enemy ship was coming out of warp speed. This new Kurellan dreadnought was much bigger and more powerful than any ship the humans had seen. It was launching hundreds of drones to attack the human fleet all at once. Rhett stood up, now stronger but still unsure of what the bond meant for his future. Zavira struggled to stay on her feet, but promised to help him lead the fight. Together, they prepared to face the greatest challenge yet. This first part of the story sets the stage for an epic fight, showing how a desperate situation forced 2 very different beings, a brave human captain and a mysterious alien healer, to come together and begin a powerful connection that might save humanity. After the strange and powerful bond had formed between Captain Rhett Marlowe and the Valari healer Zavira, both of them felt the deep changes happening inside. When Zavira pressed her glowing hand to Rhett's chest, a warm light spread through his body, making his muscles tighten and his heart beat stronger than before. Her breath was soft and carried a strange, electric scent. As she whispered in, The old Valari language, Rhett felt a mix of pain and strength, like nothing he had ever experienced. The bond was more than just healing. It was connecting their bodies and minds in a way that was hard to explain. When it ended, Severa collapsed into Rhett's arms, exhausted. But Rhett stood up, feeling stronger and more alive than before. His skin had returned to its normal color, and the burning poison inside him was gone. He looked at Severa and asked what she had done. She explained that they were now bonded forever, sharing part of her Valari energy inside him. This bond gave him new strength and abilities, but there was no time to rest. Suddenly, alarms began to ring loudly across the ship. A huge Corellan dreadnought had jumped out of warp near the battlefield, a giant warship 3 times the size of any human ship. This massive enemy vessel launched waves of flying drones to attack the human fleet. The situation was desperate. Rhett knew the humans could not hold out for long against such a force. Severa, despite being weak from bonding, promised to help. She said that her people were once great warriors, and that she could guide Rhett through this fight. Together, they made a plan. They boarded a captured Corellan ship called the Dreadclaw, one of the few ships humans had taken from the enemy. Rhett gathered a small team of the best soldiers, veterans who had seen countless battles but still fought with courage and loyalty. As the Dreadclaw flew toward the enemy dreadnought, Severa placed her glowing hands on the ship's control panels. Suddenly, the systems lit up in ways that only someone with Valari knowledge could understand. Severa explained that the Corellan systems still recognized her Valari biometrics. This meant they could trick the enemy ship and get inside. The soldiers prepared themselves for a dangerous boarding mission. When they finally entered the enemy dreadnought, the fighting became even fiercer. The halls were filled with smoke and fire, and Corellan soldiers attacked with sharp blades and strange weapons. One by one, some of Rhett's team fell, but Rhett moved faster and fought harder than ever before. The bond with Severa made him quicker and gave him strength beyond normal humans. As he moved through the ship, he realized the bond was growing stronger, and he felt closer to Severa. Together, they could face even the deadliest enemies. The tension rose as they neared the heart of the enemy dreadnought, knowing that the fight was far from over. This part of the story shows the rise of hope amid despair. It reveals how humans, though outnumbered and outgunned, use courage, teamwork, and unexpected allies to push back against a deadly threat. It also highlights the strange but powerful connection between Rhett and Severa, a bond that could change the fate of the war and the future of humanity itself. Inside the massive Corellan dreadnought, the air was thick with tension and danger. Captain Rhett Marlowe led his small team of human soldiers deeper into the alien warship, every step heavy with the threat of attack. The halls were cold and lined with strange alien machines, their glowing lights pulsing in rhythm like a heartbeat. Severa's presence was close, her blue skin glowing faintly even through the thin armor she wore. The bond between Rhett and Severa had grown stronger, and they shared thoughts and feelings without speaking. Rhett could feel her calm courage and wisdom, and it helped him stay steady despite the fear gnawing inside. The enemy soldiers were everywhere, armed with sharp, wicked weapons that flashed deadly light. The humans moved fast, using their training, and new Valari knowledge to avoid traps and ambushes. Several times they were nearly overwhelmed, but Rhett's quick thinking and the strange new strength from Severa's bond saved them. He felt his body moving faster, sensing danger before it came. The bond was no longer just a cure, it was becoming a powerful force inside him. As they moved forward, they discovered the heart of the dreadnought, the command center. It was a huge room filled with alien technology beyond anything Rhett had seen. In the center sat the Corellan warlord, a terrifying creature with many eyes and armored plates, controlling the ship with strange mental powers. The warlord snarled when he saw Rhett and his team and sent out psychic waves that tried to freeze their minds. But Rhett resisted. The bond with Severa protected his mind, creating a shield that blocked the warlord's attack. The fight became a fierce battle of wills. The warlord used his psychic powers, throwing objects and soldiers at the humans, while Rhett fought with his enhanced speed and strength. Severa used her own powers to weaken the warlord's shields and help the humans push closer. The room shook as explosions rocked the ship from outside. The humans were outnumbered, but their courage was unmatched. Rhett knew that if they failed, the entire human fleet would be destroyed. The fight reached its peak when Rhett saw an opening in the warlord's defenses. He charged forward, striking with a weapon powered by Valari energy that Severa had given him. The warlord screamed in pain as the weapon struck true. With a final push, Rhett and his team defeated the Corellan leader. But victory came with a heavy cost. The ship was damaged and falling apart. Severa was badly hurt, her strength fading quickly. Rhett held her as the dreadnought started to collapse. With a fierce determination, he carried her back to the Dreadclaw, dodging falling debris and enemy attacks. Once safe, Rhett used the bond to share his life energy with Severa, helping her heal. The bond between them was now more than physical. It was a deep connection of trust, sacrifice, and hope. Though they were battered and tired, they had struck a powerful blow against the Corellans. This part of the story is filled with intense action, showing the dangers and sacrifices of battle. It highlights how the bond between Rhett and Severa gives them strength beyond what either had before, allowing humans to fight against overwhelming odds. It also deepens their emotional connection, setting the stage for the final showdown in the war for humanity's future. After escaping the crumbling Corellan dreadnought, Captain Rhett Marlowe and Severa returned to the human fleet aboard the Dreadclaw. The huge space battle still raged around them, with laser fire streaking through the dark void and explosions lighting up the stars. The Corellan drones were attacking fiercely, swarming the human ships like angry hornets. But something had changed. The humans now had hope and a new kind of power. Rhett and Severa, bonded by their shared fight and the mysterious cure, moved through the fleet like a storm. Rhett's body was stronger, faster, and he seemed to know moves and tactics no human had ever learned. Severa's healing powers reached out through the bond, helping wounded soldiers and repairing damage to ships. Together they inspired the humans to fight harder than ever before. The human fleet, once pushed to the brink, now launched a powerful counterattack. Using the captured technology from the dreadnought, Rhett and his team hacked the Corellan drones' control systems. They turned the enemy weapons against them, causing confusion and chaos in the Corellan ranks. Huge human warships fired coordinated, volleys of plasma bolts breaking through the enemy lines. The sky around Kavros 5 was filled with bright bursts of light and thunderous booms. Despite the fierce fighting, Rhett knew the real challenge was still ahead. The Corellan Empress, the cruel ruler of the Empire, had appeared in her flagship, a monstrous ship covered in dark armor and glowing red eyes. The Empress's ship was the heart of the enemy force, and destroying it would break the Corellans' will to fight. Rhett and Severa prepared to lead the final assault. With the bond stronger than ever, they entered the enemy flagship's hangar in the middle of battle. The ship was filled with strange creatures and deadly traps, but the bond gave them new senses and courage. They fought their way through endless enemies, their teamwork perfect and their strength unmatched. When they finally reached the Empress's throne room, the battle turned into a fight for survival. The Empress was terrifying, towering, and powerful, with weapons built into her armor and a mind sharp as a blade. She attacked with fury, her strikes shaking the entire ship. Rhett and Severa worked together, combining human courage and alien power. Zavira's energy shield blocked the Empress's strongest blows, while Rhett used his enhanced strength and speed to land precise attacks. The fight was long and brutal, each side pushing to the edge. In the final moments, Rhett saw an opening. Using the Valeri weapon that had defeated the Dreadnought's warlord, he struck the Empress's core. A bright explosion filled the room, and the Empress collapsed, defeated. With the Empress gone, the Kirillin fleet lost control and began to retreat. The humans cheered, their hard fight finally ending in victory. But the bond between Rhett and Zavira had changed them forever. They were no longer just a human and an alien. They were connected in a way that no one could break. The story ended with Rhett looking out at the stars, feeling hope for the first time in years. He knew the war was over, but the future held new challenges. With Zavira by his side, he was ready for whatever came next. This last part shows the thrilling climax of the war, full of action, teamwork, and sacrifice. It highlights humanity's strength and will to survive, and the powerful connection that grew from an unexpected bond between two very different beings. Their victory was not just over the enemy, but over fear and hopelessness, lighting the way for a new future among the stars.